The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to, social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And we have a massive deep dive for you today. The headline we are building off of is literally everywhere right now. New clues about Taylor Swift's wedding have fans talking.
Right. I mean, we are taking the ubiquitous rumors surrounding this potential July 4th weekend wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and we're putting them under a microscope today.
Exactly. We've pulled from a staggering stack of sources for you. Like, we're talking city permit filings, architectural blueprints, local transit police alerts, and leaks from elite production facilities.
Yeah, because the mission today isn't just to report on a celebrity party. We really want to deconstruct what looks like a masterclass in tactical event planning. We're going to analyze the counterintelligence measures and the sheer physical engineering required to pull off what is shaping up to be, honestly, the most heavily fortified celebrity wedding in modern history.
It's wild. Because we are no longer talking about, selecting floral arrangements in a sunny meadow somewhere.
No, definitely not.
We're looking at logistical planning that rivals a highly classified military deployment. And to truly grasp the scale of this operation, we have to start with the presumed location.
Right.
And the hard evidence points to somewhere completely antithetical to a traditional romance Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Which is crazy because, sunlight, vulnerability, and ocean breeze, that's the standard romantic template.
Exactly.
On paper, a brutalist concrete sports arena sitting on top of a major transit hub in Midtown Manhattan is like the exact opposite of that aesthetic.
Wait, hold on, though. A windowless basketball arena. They have endless resources. She owns a 12,000 square foot, $17 million historic mansion in Watch Hill, Rhode Island.
The famous Holiday House.
Yes. It sits on the highest point in a seaside enclave. It has a huge private beach. Why would anyone, let alone a billionaire, trade a private seaside cliff for Penn Station?
Well, it sounds crazy at first, but you have to think of Madison Square Garden not as a building, but as a physical firewall.
Okay, a firewall? How so?
Because if you host an event at an open-air Rhode Island beach, you are dealing with a million vulnerabilities. You've got drones, news helicopters, paparazzi chartering boats.
Oh, people breaching the perimeter?
Exactly. In an open space, you just cannot control the sightline architecture. But inside the garden, you control the permissions entirely.
Right, because there are zero windows.
Zero windows. And they have these specialized subterranean loading docks. A fleet of tinted SUVs can just drive down a ramp. The massive steel doors close behind them, and guests step directly into secure elevators.
Without ever intersecting with a public sidewalk or, open airspace?
Exactly. You eliminate all external threats completely.
That completely reframes the entire venue. It's a structural necessity for them at this point.
Yeah, and looking at the sheer volume of bureaucratic evidence in our sources, the logistics are already in motion.
Oh, they definitely are. TMZ and local New York outlets reported that City Hall actually confirmed a permit application to completely lock down the streets surrounding MSG from July 2nd to midday July 4th.
Which requires immense coordination with the Department of Transportation. And it's not just the streets. Amtrak police, the officers who patrol the transit hubs underneath the garden, they've been explicitly briefed to prepare for a massive surge.
Right, specifically noting a Swift wedding in those alerts. Plus, we have reports of Kansas City Chiefs players block booking hotel rooms at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square.
Yeah, and even the mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani, publicly hinted at the connection. He links this potential mega event to the America 250 July 4th celebrations.
And the scale of what is reportedly happening inside that perimeter is just staggering. Industry executives leaking to the press indicate a multi-day operation.
Right. The sources say the strategy calls for an intimate gathering of about 100 people at MSG on July 2nd.
Followed by a massive, highly produced blowout on July 3rd for anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 guests.
But wait, I have to push back here. A multi-day blowout at a basketball arena still sounds incredibly sterile for a wedding. It's a concrete box.
It is a concrete box, but there's actually a rich, albeit chaotic, historical precedent for this specific venue. Madison Square Garden allows this kind of absolute madness because they've done it before.
Wait, really? Who got married at MSG?
Well, look at 1974. The legendary funk musician Sly Stone was married right on stage at MSG in front of 20,000 people.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah. And if you go back even further to 1957, producer Mike Todd threw this wildly extravagant televised bash at the Garden to celebrate his one-year anniversary to Elizabeth Taylor.
Wait, was that the one with the massive kick?
Yes, a 14-foot cake. So an MSG spectacle isn't unprecedented. It's actually rooted in a very specific, bombastic New York tradition.
Okay, but that brings up a massive contradiction. If Madison Square Garden is designed to be this impenetrable, windowless firewall, how do we know all of this?
That is the golden question.
Right. Like, why are the permit details, the transit police memos, and the hotel blocks leaking so freely to the press? If they are running a Black Ops level security protocol, these leaks feel entirely out of character.
Well, this is where we look at the concept of information compartmentalization, and specifically what our sources call the JFK Jr. playbook.
Oh, I love this theory.
It's fascinating. We have incredible insights in our sources from Rosemarie Terenzio. She was John F. Kennedy Jr.'s chief of staff, and she is the woman who orchestrated his ultra-secret 1996 wedding to Carolyn Bessette.
Right, and Terenzio has gone on record saying she does not believe for a second that the actual vows are happening at MSG. She believes the entire New York operation is a giant decoy.
Exactly, a total distraction.
But a decoy that requires shutting down city streets and booking out entire blocks of Times Square hotels, that is a phenomenally expensive misdirection.
It's a necessary misdirection, though, because paparazzi and tabloid outlets operate on finite budgets and limited logistics.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. When Terenzio planned JFK Jr.'s wedding, they intentionally left fake itineraries for Ireland out on desks and leaked them to specific people.
So the press diverted all their resources, photographers, stringers, their entire budget to cover the Ireland angle.
Precisely. And while the media was locked onto the decoy, the couple quietly slipped away and got married in total secrecy on Cumberland Island in Georgia.
Wow.
Terenzio suspects Taylor and Travis are running the exact same play, just on a monumental scale. If you tie up every freelance photographer, every drone operator, and every news helicopter over Midtown Manhattan,
then the skies over the actual isolated wedding location are physically clear. That is genius. But what about the guests? They have to know where they're going.
well, that's where it gets even more intense. The level of counterintelligence extends directly to the actual guests.
Right, because the physical invitations for this event went out in the early spring, and they don't mention Madison Square Garden at all. They just say New York City and July 3rd.
And that's not even the wildest part. Later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the performer lineup that is just mind-blowing. But the mechanism built into these invitations, it's pure espionage.
It really is like something out of Mission Impossible. According to our sources, every single physical piece of paper is individually watermarked.
Yes, the guest's first and last name is faintly printed, just repeatedly across the background of the invite.
It's a classic intelligence tactic known as a barium meal, or a canary trap. You give every single person a slightly different version of the same sensitive document.
Exactly. Because if a guest decides to cash in and, texts a photo of that invitation to a tabloid.
The digital image will literally have their own name plastered all over it.
Right. Taylor's security team isn't just trying to hide the location. They are actively weaponizing the invitations to identify leakers. It immediately neutralizes the digital marketplace for gossip.
Imagine you're an NFL player receiving this. You aren't being invited to a party. You are being entered into a secure logistical pipeline.
Yeah, George Kittle, the star tight end for the 49ers, he confirmed he's on the guest list. But he laughed when he was asked about the location.
What did he say?
He literally said he expects to be loaded onto a jumbo jet and flown to a mystery tarmac. The guests are essentially treating themselves as secure cargo.
That is unbelievable. So, okay, let's unpack this. Do you think Taylor is hiding in plain sight and the ceremony really is at MSG? Or are we looking at a triple cross where MSG is just going to be a massive reception party while the real wedding happens in a secure bunker somewhere entirely different?
Well, the physical architecture being constructed right now might hold the answer to that. Because whether MSG is the sacred ceremony or just the loudest reception party in history, the production value requires infrastructure that goes far beyond a standard event planner.
Right. Our sources tell us that a massive stage is currently being constructed. But it's not being built in New York.
No, it's being built in total secrecy at a facility called Rockleditz in Pennsylvania.
Tell everyone about Rockleditz because this place is fascinating.
It really is. It is a 96-acre elite production campus where the biggest stadium tours on the planet go to rehearse and construct their sets.
Yeah.
It has these massive aircraft hangar-sized studios.
And the stage for this event is being built there under heavy guard. like with security actively patrolling the perimeter to prevent drones or telephoto lenses from getting a glimpse of the design.
Exactly. And this facility already has deep integration with the Swift operation. A subsidiary at Rock Lidditz actually built the towering video columns for her Reputation Stadium tour.
Oh, and didn't they do the sound engineering for the Eras tour too?
They did. They executed that incredibly complex sound setup.
Wow. And while that stage is being assembled in a fortress in Pennsylvania, local news crews in Manhattan have spotted convoys of 18-wheelers arriving at the loading docks of Madison Square Garden.
Right, and the labels on the side of these trucks are incredibly specific. They read Garden Party 1, Scenic.
Now, looking at the schedule, Bon Jovi happens to have an upcoming residency at MSG, so it is entirely plausible that Garden Party is just a scenic design for a legacy rock band.
That's true. But if it isn't, and if those trucks are for Taylor and Travis, it signals a massive logistical effort to override the brutalist architecture of the arena.
Yeah, they're attempting to artificially engineer the intimacy of a backyard inside a concrete void, which tracks if you think about Travis Kelce's proposal.
Oh, absolutely. When Travis proposed, the aesthetic was highly curated. He didn't just buy a ring. He transformed his space into an immersive botanical environment.
He brought in a 20-foot domed arboretum wrapped in vines, layered with over 2,000 flowers, 1,200 roses, 800 pounds of greenery, candles, and river rock.
There was a total sensory overload of nature. So if you have trucks labeled Garden Party rolling into Penn Station, they're essentially trying to recreate that exact hyper-romantic arboretum proposal environment.
Just scaling it up for a stadium, they are importing an entire ecosystem.
And that intense level of curation permeates every single facet of this planning. The aesthetic control extends heavily into the wardrobe and the culinary experience, too.
Right. Variety and fashion outlets report she has multiple gowns prepared by Nancy. That's the New York fashion house run by Laura Kim and Fernando Garcia, who notably dressed Taylor for Selena Gomez's wedding.
Plus, there are strong rumors of custom Stella McCartney designs in the rotation. And the catering. It completely abandons the traditional banquet model.
Oh, thank God. Banquet food is always terrible.
Right. Instead, Taylor has personally curated custom food stations. She's essentially importing specific dishes and chefs from her absolute favorite restaurants to operate within the venue.
So you have bespoke, imported culinary stations, multiple designer gowns, an artificial botanical ecosystem being installed in Midtown Manhattan, and a top-secret, stadium-sized stage sitting in a Pennsylvania warehouse waiting to be transported.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is. And if you're loving these Hollywood twists as much as we are, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive, because you don't build a massive structural rigging like that just so a best man can give a quick toast.
Exactly. The physical architecture of that stage tells us exactly what kind of heavy-hitting performers are going to be standing on it. But the guest list itself is a closely guarded asset, locked down by intense non-disclosure agreements.
And the friction of that secrecy is really starting to show. The culture of NDAs around this inner circle has actually created some incredibly funny moments of public frustration.
Like with Kelce.
Yes! Kylie Kelce, Travis's sister-in-law, went on a podcast recently, and you could just hear the sheer exhaustion in her voice.
She's so done with it.
She really is. People constantly ask her for the inside scoop, and she finally just snapped. She ranted, "Nobody's telling you anything. I have no details. I have none."
She is family, and even she is compartmentalized out of the logistics. It's wild.
But despite that ironclad silence, the confirmed and expected guest list is a staggering merger of two completely different spheres of influence.
Yeah, you have NFL royalty colliding with the music industry's elite.
We're talking Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Selena Gomez, Gigi Hadid, Ed Sheeran, Zoe Kravitz, and the Haim sisters, all navigating these Canary Trap invitations.
But the real spectacle, the reason that massive stage is being built at Rock Lidditz, is the rumored musical lineup. Sources are pointing to performances from Paul McCartney, Tim McGraw, and Stevie Nicks.
Wait, having Paul McCartney and Tim McGraw on a stage together is already a historic billing, but the presence of Stevie Nicks carries a totally different gravitational pull.
It really does.
That isn't just booking a legend for a private party. That is a deeply emotional, cross-generational passing of the torch.
What's fascinating here is the relationship between Swift and Nicks is not just a casual industry acquaintance. It is a profoundly cultivated bond that has developed over 14 years.
Wow, 14 years.
Yeah, you have to trace the timeline back to the 2010 Grammy Awards, where they first shared the stage for a duet of Rhiannon and You Belong With Me. Swift has continually anchored her own mythology to Nicks.
She literally immortalized her on the latest album. In the track Clairbeau, the lyrics explicitly state, "You look like Stevie Nicks." In 75, the hair and lips.
Right. And Taylor made sure to dedicate the live debut of that exact song directly to Stevie.
There was also that brilliant, playful moment during Game 4 of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Spurs at MSG.
Oh, right.
Taylor was sitting courtside, fully aware of the cameras, wearing a t-shirt that said Stevie Nicks, spelled with a K-N, merging her friend's name with the New York basketball team.
I love that. But the architecture of their friendship is built on much heavier emotional realities than lyrical Easter eggs.
Yeah.
During a concert in 2023, Stevie Nicks stood on stage and publicly thanked Taylor Swift for writing the song You're on Your Own, Kid. Nicks shared something incredibly vulnerable with the audience.
What did she say?
She explained that Swift's song was the primary mechanism that helped her process the paralyzing grief of losing her Fleetwood Mac bandmate and best friend, Christine McVie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nicks said that she and McVie were always on their own, kids, and now she was having to learn how to navigate the world without her. For a legacy icon of Nicks's stature to openly credit a younger artist's pop song with acting as a life raft through profound grief, that signifies a rare, transcendent level of mutual respect.
To have Stevie Nicks stand on that stage in that windowless concrete fortress and perform at her wedding, it completely grounds this chaotic, multi-million-dollar military operation in something incredibly human.
It really does. It strips away the tactical event planning and brings it back to genuine connection.
So what does this all mean? When you step back and look at the sprawling logistical map of this July 4th weekend, it is just overwhelming.
It's a lot to take in.
We have potential decoy itineraries designed to manipulate paparazzi helicopter budgets. We have physical invitations embedded with espionage-level watermarks to instantly burn leakers.
We have elite security forces guarding a massive stage in a Pennsylvania warehouse.
Exactly. While fleets of trucks attempt to engineer a botanical arboretum inside the concrete shell of Madison Square Garden. And at the center of it all, a guest list that merges Super Bowl champions with the ultimate icons of rock and roll.
It is a mammoth undertaking, and it leaves us with a necessary question about the reality of modern megafame.
Right. We endlessly consume the luxury, the wealth, and the unparalleled access that someone like Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce enjoys.
But when you examine the brutal mechanics of what it takes for them to experience a basic human milestone, the illusion cracks. In a culture where every single bystander is equipped with a high-definition lens and autonomous drones can breach the airspace of any private estate, the concept of a genuinely private celebrity wedding no longer exists in nature.
You literally cannot just rent a nice beach and enjoy the sunlight anymore. The perimeter is always compromised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It leaves you wondering if the only way to experience an intimate, unexploited moment in your own life is to fake your itinerary, watermark the invitations of your closest friends, and lock yourself inside a subterranean concrete bunker. Are you actually controlling your fame, or is your fame completely controlling you?
That is a staggering thought. The tactical military operation has entirely replaced the romantic ideal.
It has.
The simple script of walking down an aisle has been completely rewritten by the suffocating demands of modern celebrity. Something to chew on the next time you scroll past a candid paparazzi photo and wonder what it actually cost to take it. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.